Hey y'all, so on today's video, I'm going to be trying out this little Dogrook Anti-Bark Collar that is very humane. I do love my pupperoos so very much. However, my little Chorky dog, I don't know why he's so gung-ho about barking, but because I work from home and a lot of times I am recording, he will bark at any and everything, which is good. It's good to have a dog that alerts you when there is something going on out of the ordinary. However, my out of the ordinary and his out of the ordinary are two totally separate things. If a twig hits the window, he's barking his head off, and it almost gives me a heart attack sometimes because if I'm focusing on video editing or if I'm making a video, I'm not expecting it, and sometimes it just kind of it startles me. So I tried to find a solution to that. Now, there was a few different other collars and methods that I tried, and they just didn't work because it was so hard to catch him in the act of barking to stop the behavior right then and there. Now, I do have two different dogs. I have a pit bull, which usually does not bark very much. If he does bark, there is something wrong. Actually, he's looking at me right now all weird. But anyways, if Jo barks, I definitely know there's something wrong because he very rarely barks. However, I did have to get an e-collar for him because when I first had him, I was living out in the country and I was really close to a road, and a lot of times there were big trucks, just a lot of, there wasn't an extreme amount of traffic, but it was enough to where it worried me for him to be out there close to the road. And I very rarely had to actually use the shock function, and the one time that I did use it, it saved his life. So please don't look at e-collars as some inhumane torture device. I actually tried it on myself first before even putting it on my dog, and it felt like a TENS unit. It was just kind of like a little bit of static. But again, I kept it on a low setting, and it saved his life. It kept him from running directly into the road while a truck was coming, and thank God I had it. So I am thankful for that. And the e-collar I got from Amazon, but it's originally marketed through ecollar.com. If you have a bigger dog, I would suggest that. And again, I didn't have to use the shock setting, but like maybe a handful of times. After that, I just used the vibrate setting, which usually is enough to catch his attention, to keep him out of danger, and also to keep him from doing any types of unwanted behavior. Usually the ones that get me are the ones that are more dangerous, like running into the road. Bad idea. Now, for my little dog, it was a little harder finding a collar that fit him, and I couldn't find his little e-collar. But again, there was one that I got on Amazon, and this is the remote that actually goes to him. Both were chargeable by USB, and again, this one had not only just a vibrate setting, but it also had a beep function that like I said, I didn't have to really hit the button that many times. I could just beep him and he would be like, oops, what am I doing? Make sure not to do that anymore. So anyways, now as far as barking goes, again, it's hard to catch them sometimes, or the remote wasn't always right by my side for me to even hit the button. So I thought, you know, if that doesn't work, I'll just get a dog whistle remote, super high frequency remote. Again, this does not faze that dog. Again, Flash is a very smart breed of dog, and I'm not even really sure he's a full-bred Chihuahua Yorkie. He's mixed with something else because he's fat. And the lady was like, oh, he's only going to get 15 pounds. Flash is almost like 30 pounds. I think he's 28 pounds right now. But anywho, besides the point, it's very hard to keep him from not barking at everything. He's very macho in his little personality. But this remote, it did get their attention, but not enough to stop the barking. And usually if somebody like the mailman knocked on the door, they would go crazy. They would be barking so much that they weren't even paying attention to this. So yeah, if I wanted to get their attention, I would hit the button and it would work. But so my final straw, I was like, okay, let me think of something because the remotes aren't working. The frequency remote isn't working either. So I came to try this, which is an anti-bark collar. Like I said, it's very humane. It does not shock. It just vibrates. So it's just a vibration, much like your phone going off when you have it on vibrate mode. It's very subtle, but to a dog, it's kind of startling. So they're like, oh, what's going on? But I like this because as I unbox it, I'll show you guys what's inside. Very small little box. It just has the collar in here, which is chargeable via USB. And it does have some little extenders on it, I think, to go on the, oh my gosh, the little nodes here. You can put little covers over that if need be. And I take it that's for like dogs who are a little bit furrier. And he does have some thick fur. He needs a haircut, actually. But anyways, here's the instructions here. I'm just going to read over this. It's no shock, beep, and vibration, so it does have a beep function on it as well. Dual motor technology for the system mechanics inside the actual collar. It's not for aggressive and anxious dogs. We can definitely take that. Again, for aggressive dogs, you would probably need more of an e-collar. Again, mostly to save their life. Very important. And there's a guy on YouTube and he's on Instagram, and I have been following him for I think the last 7 years. I have to get his name. But he is extremely good with dogs, and his training protocol with the e-collar especially is phenomenal. And I feel like it's a couple seconds of discomfort for your dog, but if it can save their life or can keep them out of the shelter, keep them from biting, whatever it is, use the tools that are out there, but use them properly. There are people that abuse these types of things, but if you know what you're doing, and I'll put his information in this video as well, because when I rescued Jo, who's a pit bull, I had all kinds of misconceptions. Everybody's judgments were coming at me, and he has been nothing but the sweetest dog I have ever had. I wouldn't trade him for the world. But anyways, so back to little Flash. He's the one that is actually needing this bark collar because he is gung-ho about the barking. And I just peed my pants the other day because he went off, and I was like, oh, not expecting that. But anyways, all right, so we have the bark collar, use a manual, yada-da-da, strap came with that.
Front covers for long-haired dogs, as I assumed.
USB cable, the adapter is not included, but again, they sell outlets now with like USB plugins. You're fine with this. And if not, just get you like a little adapter off of like a phone charger, or I think you can buy them separately in like the dollar store. So get you what you need. But anyways, so there is that. Let's see, as far as the settings, and it only has 2 buttons here on the top. We have the power button. Sorry, we have the power button and the mode button. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn it on. Oops. There it is, and it just vibrated on. So I'm on the red dot. Let's see what that means. Okay, all right, and it says the suggestible charging time is 2 to 3 hours. When it's blinking green, the device is on charge. A solid green means the device is fully charged. If it's red, the device is charged with improper charger. So I guess that more so means that we need to plug it in. Okay, so let's see. So you press and we set the bark collar to test mode. To display will show the digit 0. After that, blow or bark like a dog towards the microphone sensor located on the back of the product. Okay, so there we go. If you hit the power button, that will get you to the 0, which is test mode. Okay, there it is. See, and then you can, okay. Oh my. So when it's in test mode, it's really sensitive. So I'm gonna click the power button. It's on a 5 right now. And there we, and okay. And there we have it. So it does work very well. And then I am going to, okay. So I've got it on just a 1, and the vibrate mode is very intense. It's got some punch to it, so it should be perfectly fine for the dog. Like I said, you don't need the extra stuff that's like, you don't have to shock them. Just use the vibrate function. Now, there is one thing I'm a little concerned about, but I think we should be fine. This collar is fairly large, and I'm not sure it is going to fit his little neck, but we will try it out, and we'll see what happens here. But I think this is going to work very well, so let's give it a try. And this part was kind of tucked in, so I didn't see that I could pull this out, but when you get it, essentially, you may want to adjust it for your dog accordingly. And what I'm gonna do, oh, there we go. And I may have to just cut off this excess here. So let's see what I'm gonna do. is take his collar and use it for reference. Now, I do have to take into account that these two prongs are taking away some of the length because that does push outwards a little bit more. It's always better to have too much than not enough because you can't add on. You can always adjust. And I'm going to actually need to make this a little bigger before I cut the excess off. Another thing that I'm looking for my pit bull is allergy skin treatments. And as he's running into my stand over here. Thank you. Pit bulls have, well, I'll say not all pit bulls, but a lot of pit bulls are prone to allergies, and my JO has terrible skin allergies, and I have tried. We went to the vet, and $400 later, we got like a bunch of allergy pills and some shampoo, and after like, I'm almost empty as far as the shampoo goes, and he's still back to being itchy again, so I have to make another trip, but I don't want to have to spend $400 every single time that I go to the vet. So I'm trying to narrow down like what is causing his allergies, if it's something outside. Oh, thank you. If it's something outside or the food he's eating. I don't know. It says hold it above a fire just to melt the ends. And it has some pretty nice material on here. So once you've melted that, it just kind of keeps the threads from unraveling. So I'll let that cool down before I put it on my doggo. And we'll see if it works. And there's the buzz. Oh! What's bumbling? He's like, get this off. Okay, so it did work. Flash is not so crazy about it because he was like doing this number and he's like shaking, trying to get the collar off of him. But it did work. He barked once, it gave him a warning beep, and then it buzzed, and then he immediately stopped and was like, oh, this feels funny. So I'm gonna see how it goes. I'll give it a test run. We'll try it out for a couple days, and I will have another video for you after that. Thanks guys for watching. Ooh. Make sure you give your fur babies lots of love and kisses from me and from you as well. But that is it for this video. Enjoy.
If you want to develop yourself into the mastermind that you truly are and change your life for the better, check out my book on Amazon, The Power of Discovering Yourself by Monica Bonds. Thanks.